Good afternoon to all students of Civil Services Examination Preparation. Today is Saturday, and now the Singh Pathsala has decided that Saturday and Sunday will be the day of preparation for the Civil Services aptitude, because this paper is very important because it not only helps you to clear your preliminary examination, but also it gives you the qualities really required for a civil servant as an officer in the field, and therefore you should know the basics of civil services aptitude. And we will just delineate what are the major headings in civil services aptitude and what are the major subheadings under which we will study the various parts of the civil services aptitude. So let us start with civil services aptitude. These classes will be on Saturday and Sunday. Patna Sahib Singh Pathsala classes, PSSP classes. First of all, there are major parts of the civil services aptitude like reading comprehension. Next major part is the general mental ability. Next segment is reasoning. Next part is quantitative aptitude. Quantitative aptitude. Simply speaking, this is mathematics. This is maths. Maths of 10th standard, not very deep things. And fifth segment is data sufficiency and data interpretation. There are 5 important parts of civil services aptitude in the civil services examination, and we should primarily focus on 3 segments, because nowadays civil services requires just 27 correct responses out of 80 questions. Therefore, we should not expend too much of our energy and time in preparation for civil services aptitude, given the vast syllabus of general studies and vast syllabus of optional paper itself. Therefore, reading comprehension, general mental ability, and quantitative aptitude. These 3 segments are very crucial, because reading comprehension, minimum 25 questions will be coming from reading comprehension. Minimum 25 questions will come from general mental ability section, and minimum 10 questions will come from quantitative aptitude. So 25, 50 and 60 questions. If a candidate solves 60 questions sincerely, then the chances of his or her selection will be very high. You may solve 60 questions, and even if you are you give just 40 responses correct and your 20 response will be wrong, then you will get easily selected. 40 correct and wrong response 20 out of these 60 questions, then one third negative will be, it's one third, 7 will be deducted, and 40 minus 7 will be 33, and you need only 27 questions to be corrected, because 66 marks is needed for the qualification in civil services aptitude paper. So by focusing on reading comprehension, general mental ability and quantitative aptitude, you can solve 60 questions out of 80 questions, and even if you make 20 wrong responses and just 40 correct responses, you will be easily selected. So we have to be very relaxed about civil services aptitude, because many students feel much pressure how to solve these problems. If you have to do reading comprehension very well, you have to do general mental ability question practices and quantitative aspects very well, then you will be, even if you leave reasoning part and data sufficiency, data interpretation, even then you can easily qualify civil services examination. And now I will tell what are the segments, what are the things to be done in these things. I will talk about, first of all, I will talk about all the 5 things, but you should note down, to qualify your civil service aptitude paper, you have to solve nearly 60 questions in your paper, and out of that 40 correct response will make you qualify in this CSAT paper. So let us start with the reading comprehension part. Number 1 was the reading comprehension. This part is very important and also very easy to prepare. Reading comprehension. Reading comprehension demands eclectic reading, means a variety of reading. Times of India, you should have a good newspaper, English paper. Get the Times of India and try to read different kinds of in fact, reading the comment section of the Times of India is itself sufficient. But if you want to read more, then you can read other parts of the other comment section or other articles of the Times of India also, to enrich your vocabulary and enrich your knowledge about different types of topics, so that you can easily handle the questions based on them. So 2 things are important for reading comprehension. Eclectic reading. Eclectic reading means reading variety of topics, topics, and best source of reading variety of topics is newspaper itself. You should read the Sunday Times. Sunday Times publishes a large number of different topics, and you can read and enrich your knowledge. And next part is vocabulary. Don't be lazy in learning vocabulary. Whenever you encounter any new words, you should note it down in your notebook and read its meaning from the dictionary itself, Oxford Dictionary, not from the Google, because in Oxford Dictionary a word is given in different forms, and the various kinds of sentences are given by using those words, so that you can have a better understanding of the word, because same word has different kinds of meaning depending upon the context. So vocabulary. And third is strategy in reading. Reading has to be structured. whenever we read anything, we should read in a strategic manner, because we have to get the central theme, main idea, what is the real theme on which a particular article or comment is based on. The best way to learn this strategy in reading, just read the heading of an article, and after reading that article you should know does the explanations and analysis given in the article justifies the heading, and then you will be reflecting what is the real theme or central theme in theme of the article. And another way to know the central theme of an article is to read first two sentences of a paragraph, first two sentences of first paragraph. Always read to know the central theme, read the first two sentences of the first paragraph and read the first two sentences of the last paragraph of an article. In those sentences, usually the central theme or central meaning of an article is contained, and when you get the central meaning and central theme or the central idea of the article, it will be very easy to understand the different explanations, facts and figures, because there is any article has three structures: introduction, body and conclusion. Introduction is basically the central theme, and body is the different kinds of reports, facts, analysis that supports the central idea, and conclusion is the reaffirmation of the central theme in the last. So this introduction, body and conclusion model should be the strategy in reading. And now the next part is general mental ability. In general mental ability, questions following topics are included. First is, these questions are very small, very short questions, but they are tricky questions. Whenever you practice it, you will be able to handle them very easily in the examination hall, and when you stop reading, then even if you have solved it many times, you will be able to find great difficulty. So we will have to solve these questions very regularly. So the general mental ability, number 2 is the general mental ability. General mental ability. This segment has nearly 11 major parts in which we will study. First is sequence and series. We will study about these things, sequences and series in detail. One by one we will study in subsequent classes. Sequence and series. Number 2, alphabet based puzzles. Alphabet based puzzles. Puzzles based on alphabet, A, B, C. Then Venn diagram puzzles. Next, coding and decoding. Coding and decoding. Next is blood relations. These are very simple things, but we will have to be regular in solving such questions. 6 is directions. Very easy questions are asked, but we have to do it again and again. Directions. Seventh is diagrammatic numerical puzzles. Eighth is input and output flow chart. Input output flow chart. Ninth is visual reasoning. Tenth is calendars, question based on calendars. Very interesting questions are asked. And 11th and last one is clocks. What happens when the clocks gains time, losses times? So these are the various subtopics in general mental ability section. That is sequence and series, alphabet based puzzles, Venn diagram puzzles, coding and decoding, blood relations, directions, diagrammatic numerical puzzles, input output flow chart, visual reasoning, calendars and clocks. And the next part of the CSAT is reasoning. Although we don't have to devote too much of our energy, but we should know, because many times UPSC takes unexpected turns, but largely 60 questions will be very safely covered when you read reading comprehensions, general mental ability and quantitative aptitude. But we should also know other segments. So third is the reasoning. The topics contained in reasoning are: number 1, analytical reasoning. Analytical reasoning. Maximum 7 to 8 questions will come from this segment. Deductive 7 to 8 questions. 7 or 8 questions. Analytical reasoning, deductive logic and logical consistency. Deductive logic and logical consistency. Assumptions and conclusions. Yes, this part, assumptions and conclusion part, very important, because even in reading comprehension, what is the assumptions, as such kind of questions are asked. Strong and weak arguments. Critical reasoning. Six is decision making. These are the topics which are contained in the reasoning part, and if one is not too much interested or comfortable, then you can leave these things, but you cannot leave reading comprehensions, general mental ability and mathematics, that is quantitative aptitude. And now the next part that is very important and easy for your examination is the quantitative aptitude. Quantitative aptitude means, simply speaking, mathematics. and very simple questions, mathematical questions are asked in UPSC examination. All we need is to practice it regularly, and that is the key to solve the questions timely and effectively, because solving we need to practice it regularly. So first part, there are 7 major parts in mathematics, and if we handle those 7 areas, then we will solve almost all the questions in quantitative aptitude. uh, mm, First is number system. Second is simple interest and compound interest. Third one is percentage and average. We have all solved such questions in our 10th examination or 9th examinations. Profit, loss and discount. Ratio, proportion and mixture. Time, speed and distance. And 7th is time and work. These are the 7 major areas of the quantitative aptitudes, and these will be very simple questions, and around 10 to 12 questions will be asked, which you can solve with 100% accuracy. And solving 10 or 12 questions where only 27 correct response is finally required, it means it is 1/3 part of your success in civil services aptitude paper, and it is very easy. So you must not miss upon quantitative aptitude. This is very simple and it is also easy. And the next part, which is not so important, but we should know at least something so that we can solve more and more questions, so that our confidence will be higher in examination hall. That is 5th segment is data interpretation and data sufficiency. So in this one we have nearly 5 kinds of questions. Tabular graphs, line graphs, bar graphs, pie charts, combination and miscellaneous graphs. Around 5 to 6 questions will be asked, and these questions are generally difficult in the sense because handling data requires a lot of time, and in run of the examination, the rush of time is very precious. Chances of making wrong calculations is very high, so we should not rely too much on this thing. Just three areas where you will be able to solve 60 questions, I have already said, will be sufficient for you. And civil services aptitude paper is aptitude paper is not only for qualifying preliminary examination. It is really essential to make you a good officer, because in Patna Sahib Singh Pathshala we are not only for clearing examination anyway. We aim for excellence in our service. When we become officer, we look beyond examination, because ultimately we have decided to make a educated and disciplined society, and onus for making that society is we educated classes. We will not read only for qualifying examinations, but we will study to make ourselves a worthy personality who can really listen the problems of common man, and who will be courageous enough to come out of his comfort zone and actually deliver the quality service to the people. And in this process, civil services aptitude classes will be very essential for you people. So with this I am concluding. From uh, Sunday will be tomorrow will be Sunday, and I will be telling about reading comprehension, how we read an article, and how we derive the central theme, and how we reach a conclusion. And that is the demand of reading comprehension. You have to read, you have to analyze, and you have to finally arrive at a conclusion, and that on that conclusion will be able to solve most of your questions. So thank you, and having a very warm welcome to all the students who have joined Patna Sahib Singh classes and given their encouraging responses. I wish a bright future for you people, and I am absolutely confident those who will stick to the discipline of Patna Sahib Singh Pathshalas, within 2 years they will be in civil services. Good luck.